Hi, welcome to the Destin Business Form, brought to you by the Destin Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Amy Perry, and my guest today is Scott Lightsey. You are the owner, the everything at Ecco Motors.
Yeah.
The everything. I like that. The
Yeah,
everything.
it's a little overwhelming, but yeah, that's true.
You're the owner.
That's correct.
You started Ecco Motors.
That's correct.
Several years ago. Just in 30 seconds, tell me why, how, because I think that's interesting. You were in the car industry?
Yeah, I was 30 years in the automotive service industry, and once I retired from that, moved over to Destin, needed something to do. Figured that the golf cart industry would give me something to occupy my time, and come to find out that it's actually a nice little business to be in. It's kind of exciting. There's the thrill of getting out on a golf cart is almost like being in a boat or something like that. So you get that free feeling. You're not trapped in your own energy in your car when you're getting around. And it's created a great little business for us. We've grown extremely well over the last 12 years. Started off very simply, just myself, and now we're up to 16 employees and have 3 buildings that we physically work out of. And just going into a third location, actually, where will be our sales lot out on Highway 98.
And I don't know if you said it was before you started Ecco Motors or after, but you said you got interested in electric cars and you built one that went how fast?
It did about 110 miles an hour, yeah.
So, with that information, I know that something can be done to my golf cart to make it go fast, right?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
I've added gears to make it go a little faster, and it still gets lapped by, I don't know, skateboarders and
I have
bicyclists.
some pretty fast cars out there that we built, so I'm sure
I
we could
know,
do
I've
something.
seen some. I've seen some of them. I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe they're just saying we don't think you should be allowed to try that
We'll have to
fast.
sit down and talk about all your options, but I'm sure there's some for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about that, where can someone drive I'm just going to say golf cart?
Okay. First of all, golf carts
Besides the
by
golf
nature are designed to play golf, and that's a different mindset from where we're going with these vehicles. Now we're dealing with more of a street legal product, oftentimes. Certain private communities still consider golf carts to be golf cars, but they're not the same car that you play golf with.
Right.
They have to be safer. They have to be able to handle the extra weight of the extra people in the back, lighting and all these other things. So they're more like a street car built on a golf cart platform, if that makes sense. And the popularity is such that more and more people are starting to see the benefits and the value of driving these cars around and just enjoying them. You know, so yeah, the whole idea of a golf cart into LSVs or low-speed vehicles or street legal golf carts, whatever you want to call them, which I'm struggling trying to find an identity that you can actually tag them with.
Right.
You know, so they are becoming very popular. They're almost as popular, if you will, as say the boating industry, where people buy a boat and they get to enjoy it and everything. In fact, I've got many customers that have had multiple cars over the years. You know, it's almost like, well, you buy one, then you may want a different one, but you always end up with one.
Right. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
You always have one once you get one.
Trade it. You need bigger,
trade
smaller,
it off, get
faster.
something different, get something fancier,
Right.
tune it up, you know, make it go faster, make big sounds, lifted wheels, tires, things like that. So there's a lot of creativity that comes with it as well.
Plus, at a lot of places, I'm thinking of Sandestin. I live in Sandestin. Grand Boulevard has it. I don't know if it's at the Commons where they have parking. I don't think it's at where they have parking for golf carts.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Which leads me back to, you said, I think before we started the show, that a lot of the golf carts are driven or can be driven on Old 98.
Yeah, and what I'm going to call that is the Scenic 98 corridor.
Okay.
Everything, say, south of Main 98, and then you get into the Scenic 98. That whole section there is all 35 miles an hour and less.
Okay.
So now they do have to be street legal, which means tag and title and all these different insurance. So you're treated just like a regular car. You just have some restrictions as to where you can use them. Now your private communities like Sandestin, golf cars are completely, that they're using non-street legal cars from a tag and title perspective. But at the same time, I'm having a lot of customers that are buying the street legal cars and use them in Sandestin because they're a little faster and they're definitely safer. You know, so we see more and more of that type of customer coming in and buying those kind of cars because they want to maintain speeds. You know, if you're out there in a 25 mile an hour road, you want to be able to maintain 25 miles an hour.
Right.
You know.
What are the most important things that would apply to everybody when they go to buy a golf cart?
Golf carts are a lot like cars in general. You can have a late model car that's not been well kept, not been maintained well, and that car's going to be problematic. So the biggest thing to me is, obviously if you're dealing with electric, you want to know about the age of the batteries. You have a shelf life of about 4 years on a set of batteries. So if you're buying a car that's already got 3 years old on the batteries, there's $1,000 worth of cost that's going to hit you right after you buy the car. Then there's the speed. You know, a lot of people buy their first car thinking, oh, well, I got it. Well, now it only does 16, 17 miles an hour and everybody else is doing 25.
That's what I did.
And ultimately there's this dissatisfaction of what they bought. The biggest thing that we deal with down here is the environment's harsh on them. You know, your steel frame cars do have some tendency to have rust issues and things like that. So we custom build cars out of the Club Car product, which is an aluminum frame car, and then we try and use as many components as we can to mitigate the environment problems that we have, more plastics, more stainless, things like that, that if they have to be left in the weather, we want to try and minimize that impact over time. You
So
know,
it depends on where you're going to keep it, if you're going to put it in your garage, if you're going to keep it out, if you're going to use it a lot, if you're not going to use it
That's correct, that's correct.
a lot.
And any car left out in the elements is going to have a certain amount of wear and tear that it's just not going to hold it well. Obviously, a garage kept car is going to do better. You don't have any way to protect it as far as the seating and stuff like that. Everything's exposed to the elements.
Yeah.
Even the covers, although that they help, don't really prevent the salt air intrusion and the problems that we have.
It's air, yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen some pretty fancy
Yep.
golf carts, low-speed vehicles.
Yep.
And can you build really whatever somebody can imagine, pretty much?
Yeah, I'm going to use the concept that if you can create it, we can probably build it.
By creating it, you mean like draw it or explain it to you? Or?
And we've got a whole program where you can sit down and we can go over. I've got some great vendors as far as parts and materials and things like that, where we can sit down and we can color scheme it the way you want it done. If you're into some kind of, let's say a college team.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking. I see a lot of those.
You know, or even NFL or anything like that, where you really have this enthusiasm about it. We can theme build those cars for you. And that's the fun part of what we do. You know, we can sell a factory-based car, but I'm limited as to what I can do from a creative standpoint. Whereas when we build the car, the world's our oyster. You know, you want it in blue and you want this and you want that. It's more fun to do those kind of things. You know, and we get to meet all those needs. Yeah.
I'm out of time. This flew by.
Wow.
I could ask you a lot more questions. I will say this. You seem like you really enjoy what you do.
Oh, I do.
And it shows. And I'm sure that it shows with your customers and your employees too.
Yeah, and I've got a great staff. You know, that's half the battle right there, making sure we got good people.
Absolutely.
So, and we're opening up a new store. We're going to have our retail center. That'll be open up on 98.
Okay. All right. We'll look for that.
In Destin.
We will look for that. Come back.
Okay.
I want to see a picture of some of your cars. Maybe they'll flash that up on the screen.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Thank you for watching.